Vegas takes Sharp and Shapiro. Ron Futrell from Channel 8 joining us in studio. Again, a reminder, we'll be broadcasting live from Rodizio Grill this Thursday night, 1300 West Sunset Road. Free appetizers and drinks. We're going to be doing our show live out there from 6 to 8, but we'll get out there around 5 o'clock to say hello to the listeners. Hope you can make it out there for it because we'd love to meet all of you, even the ones that disagree with us or me or JD. Some people disagree with JD. It's not always all about disagreeing with Brian.
We get like 5 every 2 weeks that disagree with me.
Once in a while, somebody does.
I prefer it that way.
Yeah, once in a blue moon, somebody does call.
Because you're right.
Says JD, you're wrong.
Literally,
because you're right.
Literally,
so, guys, I want to give an update.
Too.
We all love baseball, right? And I grew up a Red Sox fan, and this whole shooting situation with David Ortiz is just brutal. I mean, the guy is so lucky he's alive. I mean, if this guy was a good shot, David Ortiz would not be with us. But the good news is that people have been arrested. There is accountability for it. And
part of the shooter was hoping to paralyze David, or the guy that hired that paid him $8,000 was hoping to paralyze David Ortiz from the waist down. He wasn't trying to kill him. That's why he only shot one shot. You were asking before why he only shot one shot. That's why, because he wanted him to suffer because he was having relations with his wife.
Where did you hear that from, though? Because I haven't seen that story. Where did that come out?
That came out on just an article I read on the internet.
Well, I mean, we'll have to wait and see. Obviously, there had to be some sort of reason. You don't just randomly try to kill somebody.
If somebody's going to take me out, I want to at least be $10,000. Okay, I want to at least have the hitman be paid $10,000, not $8,000. Because I'll go ahead and give them that money if that's what they.
Want. What I wanted to say, though, and this is good news, is that his condition has been upgraded from serious to good just 9 days after he was shot, and I think. This would have been horrible. I don't even, if he lost his life, that would have been terrible. But, a lot of David's family saying that they remain grateful to everyone who's helped David through this ordeal, both in the Dominican Republic and here in Boston. A lot of other people are saying a lot of good things from the intensive care unit at the Massachusetts General Hospital. They're also reporting that he's going to make a full recovery, which is unbelievable. It's incredible. So that's a great thing. I wanted to talk a little bit about OJ because we talked about OJ Simpson yesterday. Ron, you've spoken to OJ before, as have I, really briefly. And I just looked at him. I didn't even speak to him when he was in the courtroom. I covered the case here in Las Vegas, the Palace Station case.
Yeah, 10 years ago or so.
He opens up this Twitter account. We talked about it a little bit yesterday. And then he talks about he doesn't have a daughter named Kardashian. He does a video that's saying he's getting even. He has some getting even to do. And I think to myself, God has some getting even to do with OJ. I mean, who does he have to get even with?
Yes. He sort of is on the plus side of things. Let's go here. When you get away with double homicide, allegedly, you're sort of on the plus side. So
you would think so. The guy plays golf every day. He hangs out in Summerlin at these wine bars. Just stay away. Why does he have to? Is it his ego that he had to open up a Twitter account?
Why go after the Goldmans?
Exactly.
Okay, why go after the Gold? I know the Goldmans are going after him. They did win a civil case against
right
him.
They should have.
They won a civil case of $33 million, if my memory serves me well, of which he says they won't get a penny and they won't pay. And they're probably right. He can hide that money. They don't get his NFL retirement. That money is not part of the settlement. Anyway, yes. Why continue? The Goldmans lost their son. It's clear that if my blood was dripping to the left side of those size 12 Bruno Mollies, I would be serving a life term. Or, they don't have the death penalty in California. I'd be serving a life term. But it was his blood that was dripping to the left side of those size 12 Bruno Mollies.
Yes.
And let's go back to the case. It's about 25 years. And a brief version, all you need for closing arguments. And Vincent Bugliosi, the late Vincent Bugliosi, DA in California, would have been the best to handle this case at the time. But what you have to think, for OJ to be innocent, you have to think that the LA cops knew that he had a cut on his left hand, and they hadn't seen him yet. He's in Chicago. He's on a flight that he had a cut on his left hand, and that it was him, and it was his blood drops that were dripping to the left side of those size 12 Bruno Mollies. And then they had to figure out that, okay, let's grab OJ's blood from the collection of blood, because they probably have every running back's blood in their car. Okay, so was it Marcus Allen? Was it Barry Sanders? Was it and drip the blood to the left side of those Bruno Mollies. And let's hope he has a cut on his left hand when he returns.
He
has a cut on his left hand to explain the blood.
Mark Furman did not help. He's a racist. That did not help. help. The LAPD did not do a great job handling the evidence.
That's why
we know that.
I just gave the closing argument.
Marsha Clark, I agree with you. We're on the same side.
One paragraph.
We're on the same side here. I agree. But Marsha Clark and Paul Darden did not do a great job either. With that being said, there were jurors that were racists that held up the Black Power sign as one of them did walking out of the courtroom. Ignorant people. Now, did the prosecution give it beyond a reasonable doubt? I don't know, but there's certainly a lot of evidence that puts OJ there at the scene of the crime, and I have no doubt that but going back to the Twitter account, going back to the way he lives his lifestyle now, he claimed in an interview with the AP that Las Vegans, locals, come up to him and apologize to him for what happened to him here. I don't believe that. I believe
here
maybe
at the Palace Station.
Yeah, I believe maybe a few people did that are idiots that just want to get a picture with him and are starstruck. But for any person that thinks that they should walk up to OJ Simpson and apologize to him, you're a fool for doing that.
That would be foolish.
You're a fool.
That would be foolish. Now, and on its merits or lack thereof, yes, in the Palace Station thing, had it not been OJ, he would not have gotten that tough of a sentence, 9 years in state prison in Lovelock for what he did here. Was it kidnapping? Okay, but bless David Roger and Jackie Glass, the lawyer and the DA at the time. Not the lawyer, but the judge and the DA at the time. I have no problem with them throwing the book at OJ over this because of the past issues, and that's just me. That's not illegal. By the way, I'm not a lawyer. Do I need to say that? When I say I'm not Mike Avenatti, I'm not a lawyer. But that being said, come on, karma. Let's go there. I had to be a part of it. So, but to apologize to OJ, hey, if I went up to him, probably tap on the shoulder, say, "What's up, killer?"
Quickly though,
I want to say
you
killer.
Tell me
I mean like two-time killer.
The Ford Bronco was here in Vegas, and people were. Can you tell me what was that?
That was at the Luxor. It was 7
show.
years ago. A friend of mine bought the Bronco, and so it was in front of the Luxor
Wait,
for a while.
your friend bought that car?
Bought the Bronco.
For how much?
I got a picture. He would not tell me the price, and he still owns it. And
they show it at different places, and he gets paid to.
Yeah,
that's a little sick.
Well, the Bronco
That's a little sick, don't you think?
The Bronco didn't commit a crime.
That's a little sick. Come on.
It's a little crazy.
You want to auction off the knife, too? I don't know. That's weird.
Well, let's find it first.
That's a little strange
It's
to
in
me. I don't know how I feel about
Kardashian's
that.
bag.
I don't know how I feel about that. Hey, this is the rope that strangled blah, 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 blah. Let's.
Yeah, I mean,
that's a little sick to me.
That was A.C. Cowling's Bronco. There were two white Broncos in this case that have to be reconciled and figured them out, and that was A.C. Cowling's white Bronco that was only used for the escape. I'm putting that in air quotes. The slow speed chase that interrupted the NBA Finals that year.
The point I'm trying to make is that if there's anybody outside of prison right now that should be apologizing to society every day for the rest of his life, that would be OJ Simpson. Instead, he's saying people are coming up to him and apologizing to him, and now he's saying he needs to get even. Who does OJ Simpson need to get even with? Who is he talking about? What, the Goldmans? The Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department? Furlong?
JD, you have to get even with you? I hope not. I hope not.
Not that I'm aware of.
What is he? No, but seriously, guys, who is he talking about? Who is he talking about? Who does he need to get even with?
David Roger, Jackie Glass. Let's go there. I don't know.
Jackie Glass gave it to him really good. I enjoyed that.
Are those the people he thinks he has to get even? And that is a bit of a threat.
I think he considers himself a celebrity, and he's seeing exactly.
Yeah.
A very important person. I think he's seeing all these celebrities blast their opinions out there on everything, and he feels left out because he, to himself, is a celebrity.
He's one of the few people.
And his opinion matters just as much as the other celebrities do.
Well, he's one of the few people where I could simply say if he decided to take a dive off the stratosphere, I wouldn't feel a bit sorry for him.
Okay, here's another issue. Is that a threat? Is that? No, I wouldn't either. Is that a threat? And should Twitter kick him off?
I think it is a threat, isn't
Twitter,
it?
Okay, Twitter has
a convicted felon.
Twitter has kicked people off for less. For making threats. That's one of their big deals, and they're very politically oriented.
Okay, well, here's why I would say no, and only for this reason alone. Because I think he's going to dig a bigger hole for himself, and I think he's going to say or do something really bad. Eventually, he's going to publicly threaten somebody and hopefully go back to jail, because last I checked, he's still on probation, is he not?
2 years since he got.
Is he still on probation?
Good question. I'm not sure.
So if he threatens somebody on Twitter, I'm going to kill you, or I don't know if he would do that, but if he says I'm going to, do this or do that or watch your back, could that be a parole violation?
It could be, yes.
So
Short
let him
answer,
do it.
If
Let him do
it.
I give OJ. I'm giving him 60 days. I think in 60 days that account will be permanently suspended.
His attorney, Malcolm, might pull it. Malcolm Laverne, his attorney
Malcolm
might say, you know what, OJ, how about not? How about no, let's don't.
Well, how do you think that conversation went where OJ's like, you know what, I think I want to open up a Twitter account? Do you think it was one of his kids that brought it up or one of his attorneys or friends? How do you think that came up?
I think he's seeing a lot of different people, like I said, displaying their opinions, and he feels his is very valuable.
And he's not going to tell you the number of people that come up to him and sort of rap him on the shoulder and say, hey, what's up, killer? He's not going to tell you the number of people that do that. No, by killer, I mean like multiple killers, like two-time killer.
Here's what Ron and I don't want to happen. We don't want OJ Simpson to endorse Donald Trump.
How about, and if he does, then somebody got to it.
You got enough.
He got paid.
That's one thing that we just are not hoping for.
Somebody on
or
the
how about
left
if he gives OJ like he gave Tiger, like give OJ an award or a medal or something?
Please endorse Joe Biden.
I wouldn't put that past Donald Trump. If OJ went on this Donald Trump campaign and said nothing but nice things, I bet you Trump would say nice things about OJ. Well, he was a great player back in the day. He's a great guy.
That would actually be a really good litmus test.
I'm telling you, I think Donald Trump would praise OJ. I do think he would.
He would do something. I don't think he would be as aggressive as that, but I think he would say a couple of positive things.
Listen, there
him.
have been some pretty bad people that OJ Simpson has not only defended, people that are in jail right now. So if OJ, for example, went on this tour, this campaign tour, I do believe that Trump would go and say something nice. If Trump said, if he was asked, what do you think about OJ? I mean, look, David Duke was one of the people that supported Donald Trump, and Donald Trump then lied. And he said disavow.
Is this the sports segment? Or are we doing that?
Well, we're transcending back into that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
we're trying.
Yes,
We're trying
I do think yes.
Brian has limited knowledge, so he makes it up by just attacking Trump as often as he can.
No, I don't. No,
I brought up Trump.
You brought up Trump, not me. But yes, I do think he'd say OJ Simpson, solid player, Hall of Famer. So glad. I'm going to invite him to the White House and serve him McDonald's.
Glad. You know that he did try to buy the Buffalo Bills and was turned down.
Oh, he did want to get the NFL, which he did in the USFL. He was a part of. Hey, do the Toronto Raptors come to the White House? I know the answer, by the way.
I would probably say no.
I'd probably say no.
Yeah, I would say that's probably not going to happen.
I think Kawhi would go. I think Kawhi will go. I think we'll see Kawhi and Donald Trump in a picture at some point.
That would be good.
Can you imagine? How about Drake? You think Drake's going to go to the White House?
I don't know. Bring Kanye.
Drake's not a big Donald Trump fan.
Bring Kanye with him.
Yeah, Kanye, very intelligent guy.
He's great.
Really well spoken.
He actually is a genius.
Yeah,
he's 100% a genius.
Extremely intelligent. The Kardashians have great taste in men.
I would not be shocked if Kanye's IQ was 107.
Oh,
they should
probably.
They've already been hanging with Trudeau, so let them go hang with little old liberal Trudeau up there in the Great White North. And do that. So, yeah.
Well, Futrell, why don't I put you on the spot right now? You going to be hanging out with us Thursday night at Rodizio?
I've got to work Thursday. I'm done at 7 o'clock. If I can get from there to there.
Okay.
I'm working.
All right. Work is overrated.
Day job gets in my way.
It's overrated. All right.
Yeah.
Well, reminder to everyone out there listening, we will be at Rodizio this Thursday from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Check us out.
Since you teased it real quick, UFC, the Apex, they've got an auxiliary building there where they're holding fights, doing it, in fact, tonight.
Is that
right now?
Is that at Palms?
It's right next to, on 215 and between Rainbow and Jones is the UFC building.
Okay.
It's out the close to
So
it's just next to it. It's right next to it, and it's called the Apex, and it's a studio / arena. They're going to have comedy shows. They're going to have fights there, boxing there, MMA there, concerts, all sorts of stuff. It's interesting what they're getting into.
What's the capacity?
Probably 1,500 if you put it all the way. If you make it all the way, yeah.
Well, I'll definitely have to check that out. Sounds pretty cool. Go ahead, JD. Quickly.
We have been posting. We have 290 files on YouTube now. We have almost 3 weeks of total content on YouTube. Our YouTube is The Vegas Take Radio. Please subscribe and check out what we've got up there. We just added the Steve Sear interview from last week.
All right, guys. Tomorrow night, same time, same place. Michael Avenatti, Ken Thompson coming up next.